Folks, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Okay, 24 hours later, and it's still there, which is all good. Very unusual reaction. Rode it to work today, set at about 70 miles. It's a weird thing. It's quite loud and quite fractious and raucous round town. It kind of echoes as you go down the high street, but when you get it up to about 8,000 revs, it goes quiet. It's really weird, and it's really restrictive. It's actually slowing the bike down, and there's a reason why. Specifically because I've bunged it up too much with that wadding, and I've sealed the end, which has made it really restrictive, probably almost like the original can. So I've got to deal with that tonight. It's a very quick one, just going to get cracking on that. But before we do, I'm going to try and do this a bit scientifically. So I've got the old decibel meter of doom, and I'm going to make some measurements here. Now that's just measuring me rabbiting at the moment. So I'm going to put it on max lock, so that's just, switch it on again, and that's just the maximum that it is. Needs to be on fast, because it's fast, quick sound. Needs to be on high, because it's over 100 decibels. And I'm going to check this out. That's 74 decibels, that's just talking, that's just ambient noise. So I'm going to wind it up now, give it a few revs, and check what we're making at the moment. So first thing, get on. It's a two-handed job, so just put you here for a minute. Two-handed. Okay, that's a couple of good wristfuls, and that's made 106 decibels. When you imagine that most sports cans, most race cans are about 103, 105, so 106, it's not bad, but weirdly it goes quiet. And what I mean by that is when you're riding along, doing about 65, 70 mile an hour on the old bypass, it's doing, your wind rush in your helmet is more noisy than the exhaust, so I don't know what's happening there. And I just want to check something, because I'm not so sure whether taking that wadding out is going to make that any different, but it will free flow, and there's a reason why. So quickly, just going to get that out, and I'll show you what I reckon I've done wrong. Okay, got the bolt out. Let's get this out now. And there it is. Right, and that's it, 24 hours later. I reckon what I've done wrong that's causing the restriction is I've sealed that end completely, and I've allowed the gases to go through just the sides, but obviously I've covered this up in here, and that's stopped any gas going through that bit. Where I've misunderstood it is that one of these things, they straight through. Now obviously the gases go whizzing straight for it, and then you've got this perforated tube, and there's soft wadding around the outside, and the sound waves go down the can, bouncing off the sides, being absorbed by the wadding, but the free flowingness is still permitted to occur, so you get a nice free flowing exhaust that isn't too raucous and rattly. This, where I've made a slight mistake, which is correctable, I'm going to do it now, I've sealed that up, so having wadding around it, having a wrap around your baffle is correct if there's a straight through baffle and the gases are going straight through, and that is absorbing the sound. But what's happening here is that section on the back, which is the only section of perforated steel that's open, is all that's allowing gas through, so that's hugely restricted. And what I'm going to do is two things. I'm going to take the wadding off, because I don't think it's necessary, and I'm going to trim that end open with a hacksaw, and that will allow more gas to run through, so it will speed everything up. And I'm thinking, I've got a theory, I reckon it's not going to be a lot louder. I mean, it only has to be 1 decibel louder, and that's audibly really loud. But let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if it's no louder at all, but it will flow more freely, and it will quick, because that's normally a quick bike. With the Yoshi on, that was nice and crisp and fresh and flashy, and give it a little twist of the grip, and it just used to leap forward. Now it's kind of gone all lethargic and miserable and dull like it used to when it had the standard can, and I think that's because that is like a standard can. It's almost completely sealed. So I need to free flow that up a little bit, take this wadding off. I can always put it back on and have another little experiment, which is what this was all about. It's a bit of research and development, a bit of R&D. So let's get cracking on this and see if I can make it flow a bit better. Okay, stick around, stay tuned. Okay. Okay, now this opens up a lot more of the perforation, so it's going to allow gas to flow better, so that will deal with the flow issues. And I'm just going to add more by just opening the end up and making it a round end, so that effectively that will allow more gas to go straight through it as well as insides, because this is sitting pretty much in the center of the exhaust, so all the gases are going up the side, getting blocked here, and then just working their way through there. So there's lots more of there to work through, and I'm going to open up the hole as well, so that should work on 2 counts. So let's get it hacksawed, see what it looks like. Clink, and there it is. That's opened up the end of it. It's going to round that using some hemorrhage and a spike. I think that will make it throw a bit better. Stick around. Right, now that may be too much, but who knows? I'm not going to know till I try it. So I'm just going to get that reinstalled on the bag. It should be quite a bit louder, but I expected it to be loud already and it wasn't. So you don't know till you try, and I'm not going to know that till tomorrow. I want to get it on a fast road. So I just got to get that bolted back in and we can do a little decibel test. Let's get the bolts. There we are. All back in. Safe and sound. Again, it's ugly, but that's temporary. That's nutted into there to lock it. So even if this nut was to work its way off, the bolt will stay there. Don't lose this, put a bit of time in it. So that's solid now. The old DB tester rigged up. 72, that's just ambient. So let's get it cranked up, see what it does. A bit more hollow. Right, turn that off. Okay, so as an extreme, it's gone 108, so roughly 2 dBs higher, which is a significant amount, but generally, until it was the highest rev, that was staying on 105, and it was 106 just now. So it's not far above, but what remains to be seen is whether or not that's freer flowing enough now to regain that little bit of performance, because there's no point in having all this if it runs like a sack of old spanners, and it isn't running quick. It's got to be it's got to develop the power that it developed with the Yoshi on. So there it is. That's really a quick one for now. Can't do anything until I hit the road tomorrow, get it on its way to work, and see what that's going to do. I had a little rethink about this. When I lop all this off, I've got a diamond disc today, so I'm going to gradually shave all this off. I've got an old bumper off a Hilux, which is this kind of size and a lovely curve to it. So I think using the 90-degree curve, I was thinking of coming out and just along there like that. Just make a nice little turnout pipe, which will be quite trick to finish it, because at the moment it just looks like what it is. You've taken off your can and you're running it without. And as much as this morning, as this, going to work, first time in a year, there was a copper sat on the left hand side as I went across a roundabout, and he just watched me rubberneck me as I went by. And this was quite quiet and it was doing what it did. It wasn't making much noise. I was cool. But if you've been this side of the bike and seen this, I think it's irrespective of noise. They kind of just get attracted to that. You obviously got something missing. So I've got to finish that visually as well as keep the noise down. There's plenty of these little short pipes on the market, the little GP pipes you can get from, you know, Akrapovic and stuff like that. So just to make it look more like a factory pipe is going to be the task after we've asserted that the baffle is correct. Because once that baffle's correct, it's getting welded in, and then I'll take all this flange off, probably leave a little lip there and then just put a curve on the back, but that's for next time. So for now, just got to ride that to work, see if it works. Okay, thanks for tuning in and watching Delboy's Garage. Let's see what happens tomorrow.